Thank you, Chairman, and welcome, Secretary Perry. For the record, I want to associate myself with the comments of the ranking member with regard to maybe looking at doing this annually. I think the Secretary of Energy's importance to DOD cannot be overstated. Secretary, I'd like to start with DOE's capacity to produce plutonium pits. When General Hyten testified here on Tuesday, he reinforced DOD's requirement of up to 80 pits per year by 2030, with the initial 30 per year by 2026, taking place with the existing facilities at Los Alamos. And as I see it, General Hyten is really DOE's customer here.
Yes, sir.
Are you fully committed to meeting STRATCOM's requirements for pit production of 30 by 2026 and 50 by 2030?
Yes, sir. And Senator, if I can, I just want to add one thing. I think it was Senator Fisher that asked about the budgeting side of it, and if we were going to have the resources in the omnibus in the 2019, and I said yes, but with a caveat here that I think is important is that we're going to work with DOD and the OMB on any issues that may come out about that, any equivalency. So I just wanted to, for the record, make sure that she recognizes, you all recognize that the budget as written appears to be sufficient. If DOD has additional requirements, then we'll address those.
We will certainly work on the budget side of things. I ask that in part, Secretary, because spending 3 years on what I have viewed as a flawed analysis of alternatives does not exactly inspire confidence with regard to the timeline. And as you know, I had serious doubts about NNSA's analysis of alternatives to meet the 80 pits per year. And in December, I sent you a letter expressing specific concerns with the AOA and that the modular approach at Los Alamos had not even been considered at that time. The AOA has now taken a full 3 years. We were assured that Administrator Gordon Hagerty intends to meet the May 11th deadline to make a decision on NNSA's recommendation or recommended strategy for pit production. General Hyten testified Tuesday that he would be concerned if there is any further delay in that timeline. So as these delays stack up, it means there's simply no room for error at this point. So can you assure me that the modular approach at Los Alamos will be fully considered in this process?
I join General Hyten in telling you that that timeline is correct, and I will be greatly concerned if it's not met. And yes to your question.
Okay. Will you and the Deputy Secretary also commit to do a careful review of that recommendation by the May 11th deadline?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Finally, can you assure me that the best available cost estimates are used and that the recommended option will meet STRATCOM's required capacity by 2030?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to shift gears a little bit right now, Secretary, and talk a little bit about trusted electronics. The Nuclear Posture Review confirmed the need to maintain a robust capability for both research and also a production capability of trusted radiation-hardened microelectronics. The Mesa facility at Sandia National Labs was built in the 80s. It must be upgraded to meet future national security requirements after 2025. A plan is now being developed to upgrade Mesa to meet NNSA's requirements through 2040. Do you agree that NNSA should maintain the unique capability at Mesa for both the R&D side, but also the production capability of strategic radiation-hardened microelectronics?
Yes, sir. And I hope before the next 7 days are up to have visited that site.
Yeah, I look forward to that. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
very much for making that a priority. I was also really pleased to see an increase of $403 million in the request for WIP to help restore full operations at that facility. I know you're familiar with that facility, and I thank you for that. I had been concerned about the growing backlog in maintenance and repair at that facility, and so it's good to see an additional $47 million to look at those systems and structures, including a significant fire suppression system and an existing salt hoist that are going to be very important to maintaining that in a safe way.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank you for your focus and your commitment to funding WIP in a way that ensures proper maintenance, but also safe operation.
Yes, sir.
Because we cannot afford to have a deviation from the safe operation of that facility.
Indeed.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.